So the Oscars just happened a few days ago, and they were alright. Not as good as last year's ceremony, but definitely a lot better than the 2022 ceremony. Jesus Christ, why did you let Amy Schumer host? Did you not see the backlash she's had over the years? Anyways, Oppenheimer won Best Picture, as expected and as it should. However, one of the many films that won Best Picture over the years was a small indie film, if I haven't heard of it, called The Godfather. A film so famous I don't even need to mention all the critical acclaim it got. Surprisingly, though, it only got 3 awards at the Oscars. Best Picture, Best Actor from Marlon Brando, and Best Screenplay based on another material from another medium, or as is now known, Best Adapted Screenplay. Most of the awards that year went to a film called Cabaret, if I'm pronouncing that right. The second film, Godfather Part 2, won a lot more awards. 6 to be exact. But enough stalling. What is this masterful work of art about? It's about Michael Corleone, a young man who has just come back from the army, and he's quite distant from his family, as they're a crime family that holds a lot of power. It's run by Don Vito Corleone, played by Brando. However, after Vito is severely injured in an attack, Michael begins to get dragged into the family's ways, becoming gradually eviler and more sinister as the film goes on, eventually becoming the new Don of the family. Now, it's time to ask the big question that's probably on the back of your mind. Or not, that's totally fine. Do I think this movie is a flawless masterpiece? Or is it just another one of those hot deck episodes, like Tom and Jerry, or Ice Age 5, or Titanic? Well, to be honest, to be perfectly, absolutely honest, it's a fantastic film. But it's not a flawless masterpiece. Nearly everything about the film is masterful. The brilliant writing, the complex characters, the brilliant storytelling, the rich themes, the amazing pacing, the masterful direction, the elegant music, the harrowing performances. Nearly everything in this film, about this film, is a work of art. But the key word here is nearly. There are a few things that I don't like. Some of them are nitpicks. And then, how do I put this? There is a big negative that drags this film down a lot. But we'll get to that later. And by that, I mean my inevitable death, because the internet will never listen to a corresponding opinion. In other news, grass is green, the sky is blue, and cola is good for you. Yeah, that's what I meant. That was definitely in the original script. With that in mind, let's begin. So what do I not like about this movie? Well, not much. I only have one major nitpick, and that some scenes are very over the top. For example, the horse head in the bed, the car explosion, Sonny's death, and the fact they say bada bing bada boom in this movie, which makes it just a smidge less real feeling. Usually the deaths in the first 2 Godfather movies are realistic, chilling, and often disturbingly quiet, which gives them that edge that makes them stand out from the crowd. But this ideology is more prevalent in the sequel, but here, though there are many horrifying deaths that don't rely on blood to be disturbing, some of them go over the top. However, and that is a very big however, that's just a minor problem compared to the main problem in this movie that drags it down a lot from flawless masterpiece to fantastic work of art. Michael's life in Sicily. In my personal opinion, that you can definitely agree with, but respectfully disagree with, agree or disagree, this section of the film where Michael hides from the gangsters, marries someone, and that person he married dying, is the only part where not only does the otherwise perfect pacing falter, I don't know if plural or not, but it never comes back into the story. Yeah, this whole section of the movie is never mentioned again. Not even in the sequel. Not even in the third film. I'm not watching the third film to check. It probably isn't. You can't make me watch that thing. Michael is just brought back to America after Viso helps the five families calm down. Thankfully, the film goes back to mastery after the Sicily section of the film, but it's definitely the worst part of the movie for me, and it drags it down a lot, to the point where I would decrease my rating... down from a 10 to a 9. Granted, it doesn't make the film horrible. It's still a masterful work of art that every fan of film should watch at least once in their life. Twice if you're lucky. It's pretty long, but like, I've just better skills than everyone else. I'm better, right? Well, what was I saying? Oh yeah, everyone should watch it. However, I just think that the film isn't a flawless masterpiece. It definitely deserved Best Picture. I haven't seen the other Best Picture nominees. What else was nominated that year for Best Picture? This is going off script, by the way, because I do not care at this point. Cabaret, Deliverance, The Immigrant Sound. I've only heard of two of those films, aside from Godfather, so that's cool, I guess. That's great. That's just amazing. Fantastic. Where was I? Ah, yes, I was talking about Masterpiece movie. Well, not Masterpiece. Yeah, so like I said, the film isn't a flawless masterpiece, but I think everyone should watch it, at least once in their life. Well, I think I've definitely gained a few enemies during this video, because as we all know, the internet never agrees with each other. There'll have to be big fights and discussions over someone's opinion. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but people like to discuss it and go at war each other anyway, because they've got nothing better to do in their pathetic, disgusting, stupid lives, aside from just stare at the computer all day, make videos complaining about stuff that probably doesn't matter, but like they do anyway because they have an empty sense of meaning. With that in mind, I actually think I got fan mail, which is quite surprising because no one knows where I live. So this is actually quite terrifying. I've just been doxxed. Let's read it. Dear RichTRM, how dare you say this film isn't a masterpiece? If I ever find you, I'll cut your nuts off. Then... maybe I won't read this letter on a website where it claims having body in the Tarzan movie, which is G-rated, mind you, was considered too extreme for a nostalgia critic, but was considered just fine for Electric Dragon 505. Interesting how that works. Anyways, bye!